Act 3 of Cynthia's Revels, or The Fountain of Self-Love, by Ben Jonson. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Scene 1. In an apartment at the court. Enter Amorphous and Asotus.
Sir, let not this discountenance or disgallant you a whit. You must not sink under the first disaster. It is with your young grammatical courtier, as with your neophyte player, a thing usual to be daunted at the first presence or interview. You saw, there was he done with Anades, far more practised gallants than yourself, who were both out to comfort you. It is no disgrace, no more than for your adventurous reveller, to fall by some inauspicious chance in his Gilead, or for some subtile politic to undertake the bastinado, that the state might think worthily of him, and respect him as a man well beaten to the world. What! Hath your tailor provided the property we spake of at your chamber, or no?
I think he has.
Nay, I entreat you, be not so flat and melancholic. Erect your mind. You shall redeem this with the courtship I will teach you against this afternoon. Where eat you to-day?
Where you please, sir, anywhere
Come, let us go and taste some light dinner, a dish of sliced caviare, or so, and after you shall practise an hour at your lodging some few forms that I have recalled. If you had but so far gathered your spirits to you, as to have taken up a rush when you were out, and wigged it thus, or cleansed your teeth with it, or but turned it aside, and feigned some business to whisper with your page, till you had recovered yourself, or but found some slight stain in your stocking, or any other pretty invention, so it had been sudden, you might have come off with a most clear and courtly grace.
A poison of all! I think I was forspoke,
No, I must tell you, you are not audacious enough. You must frequent ordinaries a month more, to initiate yourself, in which time it will not be amiss, if in private you keep good your acquaintance with Crates, or some other of his poor coat, visit his lodgings secretly, and often become an earnest suitor to hear some of his labours.
Oh, Jove, sir! I could never get him to read a line to me.
You must then wisely mix yourself in rank with such as you know can, and, as your ears do meet with a new phrase, or an acute jest, take it in. A quick nimble memory will lift it away, and at your next public meal it is your own.
But I shall never utter it perfectly, sir.
No matter, let it come lame. In ordinary talk you shall play it away, as you do your late crowns at Primero. It will pass.
I shall attempt, sir.
Do. It is your shifting age for wit, and I assure you men must be prudent. After this you may to court, and there fall in, first with the waiting woman, then with the lady. Put case they do retain you there, as a fit property to hire coaches, some pair of months or so, or to read them asleep in afternoons upon some pretty pamphlet. To breathe you, why, it shall in time embolden you to some farther achievement. In the interim, you may fashion yourself to be careless and impudent.
How if they would have me to make verses? I heard Hedon spoke to for some.
Why, you must prove the aptitude of your genius. If you find none, you must hearken out of vein, and buy, provided you pay for the silence as for the work, then you may securely call it your own.
Yes, and I'll give out my acquaintance with all the best writers to countenance me the more.
Rather seem not to know them, it is your best. Ay, be wise, that you never so much as mention the name of one, or remember it mentioned. But if they be offered to you in discourse, shake your light head, make between a sad and a smiling face, pity some, rail at all, and commend yourself. 'Tis your only safe and unsuspected course. Come, you shall look back upon the court again to-day, and be restored to your colours. I do now partly aim at the cause of your repulse, which was ominous indeed. For as you enter at the door, there is opposed to you the frame of a wolf in the hangings, which surprising your eye suddenly, gave a false alarm to the heart, and that was it called your blood out of your face, and so rooted the whole rank of your spirits. I beseech you labour to forget it. And remember, as I inculcated to you before, for your comfort, Hedon and Aeneas.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Another apartment in the same. Enter Hedon and Aeneas.
Heart, was there ever so prosperous an invention thus unluckily perverted and spoiled by a whoreson bookworm, a candle-waster?
Nay, be not impatient, Hedon.
Slight, I would fain know his name.
Hang him, poor Grogan rascal! Prithee, think not of him. I'll send for him to my lodging, and have him blanketed when thou wilt, man.
Also, I would thou couldst. Look, here he comes.
Enter Crites, and walks in a musing posture at the back of the stage.
Laugh at him, laugh at him. Ha 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 ha!
Foh! He smells all lamp oil with studying by candle-light.
How confidently he went by us, and carelessly, never moved nor stirred at anything. Did you observe him?
Ay, a pox on him. Let him go, dormouse. He is in a dream now. He has no other time to sleep, but thus when he walks abroad to take the air.
Precious, this afflicts me more than all the rest, that we should so particularly direct our hate and contempt against him, and he to carry it thus without wound or passion. 'Tis insufferable.
Slid, my dear Envy, if thou but say'st the word now, I'll undo him eternally for thee.
How, sweet Aeneas?
Marry, half a score of us get him in one night, and make him pawn his wit for a supper.
Away, thou hast such unseasonable jests. By this heaven, I wonder at nothing more than our gentlemen ushers that will suffer a piece of serge or perpetuana to come into the presence. Methinks they should, out of their experience, better distinguish the silken disposition of courtiers than to let such terrible coarse rags mix with us, able to fret any smooth or gentle society to the threads with their rubbing devices.
Unless 'twere Lent, Ember weeks, or fasting days, when the place is most penuriously empty of all other good outsides. Damn me, if I should adventure on his company once more, without a suit of buff to defend my wit. He does nothing but stab the slave. How mischievously he crossed thy device of the prophecy there. And Maria, she comes without her muff too, and there my invention was lost.
Well, I am resolved what I'll do.
What, my good spirituous spark?
Mary, speak all the venom I can of him, and poison his reputation in every place where I come.
For God, most courtly.
And if I chance to be present where any question is made of his sufficiencies, or of anything he hath done private or public, I'll censure it slightly and ridiculously.
At any hand, beware of that, so thou mayst draw thine own judgment in suspect. No, I'll instruct thee what thou shalt do, and by a safer means. Approve anything thou hearest of his, to the received opinion of it. But if it be extraordinary, give it from him to some other whom thou more particularly affect'st. That's the way to plague him, and he shall never come to defend himself. Slud, I'll give out all he does is dictated from other men, and swear it too, if thou'lt have me, and that I know the time and place where he stole it, though my soul be guilty of no such thing, and that I think, out of my heart, he hates such barren shifts. Yet to do thee a pleasure and him a disgrace, I'll damn myself, or do anything.
Gramercy, my dear devil, we'll put it seriously in practice, i' faith.
Exeunt Haton and Anites. Cretes coming forward.
Do good, detraction, do, and I the while shall shake thy spite off with a careless smile. Poor piteous gallants! What lean idle sleights their thoughts suggest to flatter their starved hopes! As if I knew not how to entertain these straw devices, but of force must yield to the weak stroke of their calumnious tongues. What should I care what every door doth buzz in credulous ears? It is a crown to me that the best judgments can report me wronged, them liars, and their slanders impudent, perhaps upon the rumour of their speeches. Some grieved friend will whisper to me, Cretes, men speak ill of thee. So they be ill men. If they spake worse, 'twere better, for of such to be dispraised is the most perfect praise. What can his censure hurt me, whom the world hath censured vile before me? If good Chrestus, Euthus, or Phronemius had spoke the words, they would have moved me, and I should have called my thoughts and actions to a strict account upon hearing. But when I remember 'tis Hedon and Anites, alas, then I think but what they are, and am not stirred. The one a light voluptuous reveller, the other a strange arrogating puff, both impotent and ignorant enough. They talk as they are wont, not as I merit, traduced by custom as most dogs do bark. Do nothing out of judgment, but disease, speak ill, because they never could speak well. And who'd be angry with this race of creatures? What wise physician have we ever seen moved with a frantic man? The same effects that he doth bear to his sick patient, should a right mind carry to such as these. And I do count it a most rare revenge, that I can thus with such a sweet neglect pluck from them all the pleasure of their malice. For that's the mark of all their ingenious drifts, to wound my patience, howsoever they seem to aim at other objects, which if missed their envy's like an arrow shot upright, that in the fall endangers their own heads.
Enter Arete.
What, Cretes? Where have you drawn forth the day? You have not visited your jealous friends.
Where I have seen, most honoured Arete, the strangest pageant, fashioned like a court. At least I dreamt I saw it, so diffused, so painted, pied, and full of rainbow strains, as never yet, either by time or place, was made the food of my distasted sense. Nor can my weak imperfect memory now render half the forms unto my tongue, that were convolved within this thrifty room. Here stalks me by a proud and spangled sir, that looks 3 handfuls higher than his foretop, savours himself alone, is only kind and loving to himself, one that will speak more dark and doubtful than 6 oracles, salutes a friend as if he had a stitch, is his own chronicle, and scarce can eat for registering himself, is waited on by mimics, jesters, panders, parasites, and other such like prodigies of men. He past appears some mincing marmoset, made of all clothes and face, his limbs so set as if they had some voluntary act without man's motion, and must move just so, in spite of their creation. One that weighs his breath between his teeth, and dares not smile beyond a point, for fear to starch his look, hath travelled to make legs, and seen the cringe of several courts and courtiers, knows the time of giving titles and of taking walls, hath read court commonplace, made them his, studied the grammar of state, and all the rules each formal usher in that politic school can teach a man. A third comes giving nods to his repenting creditors, protests to weeping suitors, takes the coming gold of insolent and base ambition, that hourly rubs his dry and itchy palms, which griped like burning coals he hurls away into the laps of bawds and buffoons' mouths. With him there meets some subtle Proteus, one can change, and vary with all forms he sees, be anything but honest, serves the time, hovers betwixt 2 factions, and explores the drifts of both, which with crossed face he bears to the divided heads, and is received with mutual grace of either, one that dares do deeds worthy the hurdle or the wheel. to be thought somebody, and is in sooth such as the satirist points truly forth, that only to his crimes owes all his worth.
You tell us wonders, Crites.
This is nothing. There stands a neophyte glazing of his face, pruning his clothes, perfuming of his hair, against his idol enters, and repeats, like an unperfect prologue at third music, his part of speeches and confederate jests, in passion to himself. Another swears his scene of courtship over, bids believe him 20 times ere they will, anon doth seem as he would kiss away his hand in kindness, then walks off melancholic, and stand wreathed, as he were pinned up to the arras, thus. A third is most in action, swims and frisks, plays with his mistress paps, salutes her pumps, adores her hems, her skirts, her knots, her curls, will spend his patrimony for a garter, or the least feather in her bounteous fan. A fourth, he only comes in for a mute, divides the act with a dumb show, and exit. Then must the ladies laugh, straight becomes their scene, a 6th times worse confusion than the rest, where you shall hear one talk of this man's eye, another of his lip, a third his nose, a fourth commend his leg, a 5th his foot, a 6th his hand, and every one a limb, that you would think the poor distorted gallant must there expire. Then fall they in discourse of tires and fashions, how they must take place, where they may kiss, and whom, when to sit down, and what grace to rise. If they salute, what curtsy they must use. Such cobweb stuff as would enforce the commonest sense abhor the Arachnean workers.
Patience, gentle Crites. This knot of spiders will be soon dissolved, and all their webs swept out of Cynthia's court, when once her glorious deity appears, and but presents herself in her full light. Till when, go in, and spend your hours with us, your honoured friends, Time and Phronesis, in contemplation of our goddess's name. Think on some sweet and choice invention now, worthy her serious and illustrious eyes, that from the merit of it we may take desired occasion to prefer your worth, and to make your service known to Cynthia. It is the pride of a writ to grace her studious lovers, and, in scorn of time, envy, and ignorance, to lift their state above a vulgar height. True happiness consists not in the multitude of friends, but in their worth and choice. Nor would I have virtue a popular regard pursue. Let them be good that love me, though but few.
I kiss thy hands, divinest Arete, and vow myself to thee and Cynthia.
Exeunt. Scene 3. Another apartment in the same. Enter Amorphous, followed by Asotus and his tailor.
A little more forward. So, sir. Now go in, discloak yourself, and come forth.
Exit Asotus.
Tailor, bestow thy absence upon us.
And be not prodigal of this secret, but to a dear customer.
Exit Tailor. Re-enter Asotus.
'Tis well entered, sir. Stay, you come on too fast. Your pace is too impetuous. Imagine this to be the palace of your pleasure, or a place where your lady is pleased to be seen. First, you present yourself thus, and, spying her, you fall off, and walk some 2 turns, in which time it is to be supposed your passion hath sufficiently whitened your face. Then, stifling a sigh or two, and closing your lips with a trembling boldness and bold terror, you advance yourself forward. Prove thus much, I pray you.
Yes, sir. Pray Jove I can light on it. Here I come in, you say, and present myself.
Good.
And then I spy her and walk off.
Very good.
Now, sir, I stifle and advance forward.
Trembling.
Yes, sir, trembling. I shall do it better when I come to it. And what must I speak now?
Mary, you shall say, dear beauty, or sweet honour, or by what other
Title you please to remember her.
Methinks you are melancholy. This is, if she be alone now, and discompanied.
Well, sir, I'll enter again. Her title shall be My dear Lindabrides.
Lindabrides?
I, sir, the Emperor Alexandro's daughter, and the Prince Meridian's sister in the Night of the Sun. She should have been married to him, but that the Princess Clara Diana—
Oh, you betray your reading.
Nay, sir, I have read history. I am a little humanitarian. Interrupt me not, good sir. My dear Lindabrides, my dear Lindabrides, my dear Lindabrides, methinks you are melancholy.
Ay, and take her by the rosy-fingered hand.
Must I so? Oh, my dear Lindabrides, methinks you are melancholy.
Or thus, sir, all variety of divine pleasure, choice sports, sweet music, rich fare, brave attire, soft beds, and silken thoughts, attend this dear beauty.
Believe me, that's pretty. All variety of divine pleasures, choice sports, sweet music, rich fare, brave attire, soft beds, and silken thoughts attend this dear beauty.
And then offering to kiss her hand, if she shall coyly recoil, and signify your repulse, you are to reinforce yourself with more than most fair lady. Let not the rigour of your just disdain thus coarsely censure of your servant's zeal, and withal protest her to be the only and absolute unparalleled creature you do adore, and admire, and respect, and reverence, in this corner of the world, or kingdom.
This is hard, by my faith. I'll begin it all again.
Do so, and I will act it for your lady.
Will you vouchsafe, sir? All variety of divine pleasures, choice sports, sweet music, rich fare, brave attire, soft beds, and silken thoughts attend this dear beauty.
So, sir, pray you away.
More than most fair lady, let not the rigour of your just disdain, this coarsely censure of your servant's zeal. I protest you are the only and absolute unparalleled creature. I do adore, and admire, and respect, and reverence, in this corner of the world, or kingdom.
This is, if she abide you. But now put the case she should be passant when you enter. As thus, you are to frame your gait thereafter, and call upon her, Lady Nymph, sweet refuge, star of our court. Then, if she be guardant, here you are to come on, and laterally disposing yourself, swear by her blushing and well-coloured cheek, the bright dye of her hair, her ivory teeth, though they be ebony, or some such white and innocent oath, to induce you. If regardant, then maintain your station, brisk, and show the supple motion of your pliant body, but in chief of your knee and hand, which cannot but ride her proud humour exceedingly.
I conceive you, sir. I shall perform all these things in good time, I doubt not, they do so hit me.
Well, sir, I am your lady. Make use of any of these beginnings, or some other out of your own invention, and prove how you can hold it, and follow it. Say.
Yes, sir. My dear Lindabrides.
No, you affect that Lindabrides too much, and let me tell you it is not so courtly. Your pedant should provide you some parcels of French, or some pretty commodity of Italian, to commence with, if you would be exotic and exquisite.
Yes, sir, he was at my lodging t'other morning. I gave him a doublet.
Double your benevolence, and give him the hose too. Clothe you his body, he will help to apparel your mind. But now see what your proper genius can perform alone, without adjection of any other Minerva.
I comprehend you, sir.
I do stand you, sir. Fall back to your first place. Good, passing well, very properly pursued.
Beautiful, ambiguous, and sufficient lady, What, are you all alone?
We would be, sir, if you would leave us.
I am at your beauty's appointment, bright angel, but
What but?
no harm more than most fair feature.
That touch relished well.
But I protest.
And why should you protest?
For goodwill, dear esteemed madam, and I hope your ladyship will so conceive of it, and will in time return from your disdain, and rue the sufferance of our friendly pain.
Oh, that piece was excellent. If you could pick out more of these play particles, and, as occasion shall salute you, embroider or damask your discourse with them, persuade your soul, it would most judiciously commend you. Come, this was a well-discharged and auspicious bout. Prove the second.
Lady, I cannot ruffle it in red and yellow.
Why, if you can ravel it in white, sir, 'tis sufficient.
Say you so, sweet lady? Lan-ti-di-di-di-di, dun-dun-dun-dun-te.
Sings and dances.
No, in good faith, madam, whosoever told your ladyship so abused you, but I would be glad to meet your ladyship in a measure.
Me, sir? Belike, measure me by yourself then.
Would I might, fair feature?
And what were you the better, if you might?
The better it please you to ask, fair lady.
Why, this was ravishing, and most acutely continued. Well, spend not your humour too much. You have now competently exercised your conceit. This, once or twice a day, will render you an accomplished elaborate, and well-levelled gallant. Convey in your courting stock. We will, in the heat of this, go visit the nymph's chamber.
End of Act 3.